All right. Welcome on into the hot corner, everybody, where we break it all down between Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network. But take it away, Eric. I got something to do with the wall behind me.
Oh, right on. Hey, guys, welcome again to the latest edition of the Hot Corner. We'll get into it, guys. Today we got Lou and Glenn with us. They are no longer on assignment. They are here to chop it up, talk about the first series in the can for the San Francisco Giants against the Cincinnati Reds. They were able to get that win today, 6-3, win the series, 2-1. It's good to see. Granted, hey, it's better than losing the series.
I'm glad they got it in, Eric.
And you know what? Today's game, man, I'm telling you, I like the way the Giants played today. At least the first 5 innings was a little bit weird. But after that, wow. I mean, the defense was there. The hitting was there. The pitching. Look, hey, you can't ask for anything better, to be honest with you, to start the season.
No errors today. Flawless baseball.
Hey, Dan, no errors in the last 3 games.
Yeah. Hey, I did a little quick post game this afternoon, but I broke it down with my 4 top guys. So we got 4 of us in here. So without someone duplicating any of us, let's pick our players of the game, and let's go ahead and start with Eric. We'll go down to Lou, around to Glenn, and I'll go last.
Man, you set it up for me. This one's an easy one. Elliot Ramos, man.
Yeah,
dude. I'm telling you, the guy hit another damn home run. And if you noticed, when he hit it, it's not like he got a lot into it. He kind of reached for it, put some backspin, and was able to go out in left field. But then his defense, I mean, come on, dude.
I love Ramos.
Out there, he's getting everything. Look, this is what we want from the young guys. And I love that this whole series, he was involved in some way or another. Yesterday, I think he hit a double. The first game, he hit a home run. Today, he hit a home run. And his defense has been pretty damn good. So, hey, let's go with Ramos. Elliot Ramos.
Good pick. That was my number 1 star today, and he's still flying under the radar in baseball.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, just look at every fantasy draft. He goes very late.
Yeah, I know. He does.
Lou, who's your player of the game today?
Well, Eric,
I
think you bring up a great point, because I thought the weather sort of changed around the 6th inning, where I think we sort of got lucky, where I think Cincinnati hit a couple balls that should have gone out that didn't. My player of the game, and to tell you the truth, I'm going to say the last 2 games, Lee. Coming up when it really counts, batting 3rd. I think the one good thing is he's actually making contact, especially with Adames sort of struggling to begin with. I mean, he did get a sacrifice fly, but Lee has been making contact when it counts. And as we know, probably the last 3 years, the biggest problem with the Giants, runners in scoring position where all we got to do is just make contact, and we haven't. And I think, Lee was very productive today. Really, really keeping the flow going, I think, is the best way to say with our lineup. Because, a lot of times, too, with the Giants lineup, we'll go 5, 6, and then all of a sudden 7, 8, 9 don't do anything, and then we got to start over again. So I'm going to give it to Lee, somebody sort of off the thing. And I'm going to have a 1 and 1B, because I know nobody else is going to mention this. Duvall. I thought today was sort of important, especially after last year. Duvall. So I'm going to do an offense and a defense. I thought Duvall today, because the biggest problem last year is he always seemed to walk the first guy and get in trouble.
Correct.
It was 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to keep it at that. Sorry, I didn't mean, I know you only asked for 1, but I'm going to do offense and defense.
That's all right, Lou. No problem. There's no penalty for going extra. The only penalty you receive is you're gone.
God, man. Man, we're gonna have to change, Lou. You're gonna have to change your name, Mr. Sugar. Now you're not anymore.
into the penalty box goes Lou.
Too early.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
All right, Glenn, what do you got? Who's your player of the game or a series? I guess was a game or series.
Well, let's do game, and then we'll go around, and then we'll do series again.
Sure. All right.
Oh well, you guys better not steal my thunder when it comes to the series, boys.
Well,
you know what, Glenn, we're gonna Go backwards this time.
Go backwards. There you go. All right. Today, been a topic of conversation, kind of a lead into mine. Eric and I always talk about getting guys on base. For me, it's a broken record. You get guys on base, you want them to get over into scoring position. You want to make things happen. And I like what I saw today from Fitzgerald. You got the guy, he's in the bottom of the lineup, but he's creating things because today he had, 2 for 4.
Stolen base.
Twice, and he had a stolen base. Now, Eric and I were on our show last night. Do you recall when you threw out Eric, you said, look, he got on base yesterday, and, there was not even any dancing. It was like they didn't want him to run. Where on the first game in the 9th inning, when they did come back on the Wilmer Flores blast, I don't know if you guys noticed, Eric and I did, both hits, what was it, Bailey and Chapman, they were able to go first to third, and they were really running the bases well. So to get a guy on yesterday like Fitzgerald didn't seem like he was doing anything. Today, I was glad he was on the base pass, and he was running. He can run like a deer when he wants to. He went 2 for 4. He scored 2, and it was beneficial, I think.
And his defense. And
yeah.
Fitzgerald played some good defense at second base, man. That's his natural position, I think.
Yeah, he's one of those guys in Major League Baseball. I know we kind of notice him because he's a giant, but if you talk to people around Major League Baseball, they'd say, Tyler, who? But he certainly is a very valuable part of this lineup, and he's going to get a chance. I think we all agree, a young player who's going to get a chance to play this year, and I'm glad about that. So that's who I give, and I have a note here, so I actually I wanted to get the Wilmer Flores thing in early tonight because I had a look. I know you can't read it, it's backwards, but I had it, or maybe it is on my screen. It is. I had a 1B, and it was Duvall. Duvall comes in today, shut the door. He had a K. He was just silent, got it done. So I gave him a little bonus check mark too. So Lou and I were in agreement there, but I go with Fitzgerald as the number 1.
Oh, so Danny? You want to? So Mr. Hockey wants to go into the box too.
Okay. Oh man.
Oh wait, I got us out of order here. Hold on, let me get you. I got to get us back in order, so because we're gonna go back around. There we go.
There
we go. Okay. Lou's gone. Oh, there he is.
There we go. I had to move Lou back over because we're going back around after I pick. We're gonna go series. I'm gonna pick twice, and I'm gonna maybe leave it on the tee for someone, so he can have his thunder. My player of the game today, believe it or not, guys, you've heard me get on his case a lot in the past, but I give credit where credit's due. Always will, always have, always will, and I'll let people have it. But to me, Matt Chapman. I'll take Matt Chapman. I mean, I was going to go with Ray because I thought someone else would pick Chapman. Ray pitched a perfect game through 5. Okay,
yep.
He definitely deserves to be up there, but. Chapman today, the big 2-run homer and 2 defensive gems that really, the play he gets down the line and he gets up so quick, throws them out, and then the double play when they were 2 men on in the 8th inning.
That was tough, man. Yeah, I was worried about that.
He comes in on the ball, tags the runner. The runner on second should have never run. Probably. I don't even know where the hell he was doing. He ran out to the damn pitcher's mound.
Well,
he had to. He was going to go right into so he had to try and avoid the tag, but he ran right into a double play. He should have stayed at second base. Situational baseball. Use your noggin. You see that you got a run that's going to score from third. Okay?
Yes.
Now it's a 2-run ball game. It would have been 6-4. What was the final? 6-3. Yeah, 6-3. It would have been 6-4. You would have been on second base with 2 out. What's the difference if you're on second or third, 2 out? Maybe you get in with the pass ball, but that's the only way you're going to score.
Right.
You're in scoring position. You just ran yourself into a double play. You just ran into one of the top 5 all-time third basemen defensively. Maybe top 5. I think he's in the top 5 all time. Definitely top 10. I don't even have to look at the list. He's definitely a top 10 defender of all time at third base. And you just ran right into him. What are you doing? So you got to know what's going on. So I give Chapman a star for today. Now the series, This was an interesting series. I'm going to leave it up to Glenn because he goes next. I'll give it to his guy, but I'll take Ramos for the series. I'll take Elliot Ramos, 2 bombs and some other key hits and good defense. We saw the dive today. So Elliot Ramos, player of the series.
Nice. Who's going to go next for player of the series?
It's down to Glenn.
Glenn,
Put it on a tee for you. Buddy.
Yeah, he did, man. He come on.
You served it up, man. You served it up. It was just a volley, and I'm just going to nail it back. And it's, I got to go with Wilmer. Wilmer doesn't have a big batting average. Nothing like that to start the year. I think after today's action, he's batting 182. But is anybody going to argue? Is there anyone more clutch on this ball club when you need the hit? When you need a home run? Who do you want in there? And for me, it's Wilmer Flores. You saw what he did in the 9th inning in the opening game of the series. Stepped into the plate yesterday. First at bat, boom, 1-0 early in the ball game. He just is a situational hitter. I think he's gonna. I said in the pregame, the preseason, I had him 30. But I said 34, I think. But I was thinking 30. If he gets playing time, he could be a 30 home run guy. And he hasn't been with this platoon. I don't want to get into. I hate that word, but over the last few years and his days as a San Francisco Giant, that is all he has lived, is coming to the ballpark and not knowing when he's going to be in the lineup. So if you get him in there, give him a chance to play, and just reading between the lines, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Bob Melvin interviews, but he seems to be high on him, and he wants to give him the playing time this year. So the fact he belts 2, one was a monumental game winner on Friday afternoon that got everybody fired up.
Thursday, yeah, opening day.
Thursday, I beg your pardon, a day off there. Nonetheless, Flores is my guy. Got to see him. I thought he played a decent first base yesterday, too. And it's funny, Dan, I don't know what it's like over in your chat, but I must say, segue out of he's my player of the series, but it's funny how Eric and I noticed last night, certain individuals, how they wanted Wilmer traded or run out of town 3 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, he's the greatest clutch hitter in this Giants team. And, we're going to have a great year because of what people are jumping. Hey, I'm not complaining. They jumped on his bandwagon. I'm glad, but I like what I saw early from Wilmer Flores. There's a few other guys too, but I got to go with Wilmer. You know, he's my guy.
Hey, Wilmer's ceiling's questionable, but he has a very high Flores.
Ibrahim, man, I tell you.
Ibrahim,
he's great at those puns.
Coming in early tonight, coming in hot.
He is the pun master. What's up, Ibrahim? Lou's turn.
Lou, you're up.
First of all, Giants wouldn't have done anything and might have gotten swept if it wasn't for one player that we haven't even commented on. And that is the clutchest at bat was not Wilmer Flores on Thursday. It was
Patrick Bailey.
Patrick Bailey was so clutch. He tried not to overdo it. If he doesn't get that hit, we lose. Remember, we struck out 17 times on opening day. That hit really was the tone for the whole season. The one thing I do want to comment about the chat, everyone's excited. Hey, we're all excited. There's still 159 games to go. And
of course,
if you guys saw, the Padres swept the Braves.
Yes.
Who are a much better team than the Reds, and the Dodgers still haven't lost. Everyone, you guys got to relax. All right, it's only 3 games. Let's see how we do with that next games in Houston. So I think it's key. Hey, it's exciting, yes, but without Bailey's hit, we don't know how it works. I also thought the way he framed Verlander on Saturday was fantastic. Verlander, it was like they pitched 500 times. And I think the one thing maybe this offseason, what he's really done, he's maybe even worked more than we thought with Buster, is how relaxed and how much better he's getting, even though he won the Golden Glove last year. They don't want to run on him. There was a couple times, especially yesterday, where they wanted to maybe run on him, but, they know his arm is dynamite, and, he'll be my player of the series because without him, we don't know, what happened. And then the other thing is I think maybe I'm going to do in part B, a little luck on our side. I think we got sort of lucky but it's about time we get some luck because usually it's the other way. So it's nice that we get a little bit, like, the doubleheader today. I mean, the double play, if that ball goes a foot to the right, boom. With the wind blowing in, where we thought maybe we almost gave a 3-run homer, boom. But I think it's about time the Giants, we need our shows are better when the Giants are winning. And I think it's nice that we actually got a little luck on our side.
Amen.
To you, Eric.
I had a deal right here. Look at this. We were talking in the chat. Praying Bailey walks. No chance he gets a hit.
Yeah. I remember.
I said, I think Bailey can get a hit here. He starts off hot first half. I really did. I thought Bailey was going to come through.
And you know what I like about that at bat? He didn't try to kill it. He just tried to put the ball in play.
That's all he did.
Right?
Nice.
That's all. Yeah, there you go. Because he understood. You just got to get the bat on the ball, let the rest of it take care of itself, and you could score runs. Don't try to freaking kill it.
Well, you can really use that term, and I don't want to overuse it, but a situational hit right there.
Yep.
So you're giving Bailey the series player of the series, Lou?
Without him on Thursday. And the way he framed for Verlander on Saturday, without that hit, we don't know what might happen. The Giants, you got to remember the game was going down, and all we were going to talk about is, oh my God, the Giants 17 strikeouts in game 1.
Yeah, he was the last out.
Yep, and we didn't have to talk about that. Then you
right?
got to remember how fired up the after that hit, they showed the dugout. It was sort of like the old Giants. They were rocking. And then when Wilmer hit the big bomb, it was like an explosion. You could almost hear the whole entire city cheering. So, I don't want to, forget about it. I know he didn't play today, but that was such a big hit that, I'm going to give him, it's first series of the year. Why not reward him? Because we don't know if it's going to happen again. Hopefully it might be, but I think it's something where we're going in the right direction with that big hit.
I'm glad you brought it up, Lou. On a side note, then you obviously noticed. Did you see when Wilmer hit the home run? The guy who looked like he was a kid at Christmas was Willie Adames when he jumped over the rail. And I thought, boy, he always talks the big game. And Eric always said, the media presence. Well, I want to be here and I love being. He looked like he loved being in that moment, didn't it?
He did.
Yeah, it was great. And that's something the Giants haven't had really probably since Pagan? Maybe who was the player that really was pumping up the
Hunter.
team?
Maybe Hunter.
Yeah. But yeah.
Pagan, like when he played, you always saw him, especially on his defensive plays. He would always, we all talk about the playoffs against the Reds when he made that unbelievable catch in center field. But he was him and Hunter were the guys that, cheering everybody up, making sure everyone knew, hey, guys, you know what, we're here. And again, what's great about it is these 3 games, we win as a team, we lose as a team. We need everybody on our team to perform for us to go to the next level.
I'd like to see him come up with some kind of just the Giants to be different, you see some teams, they got the big sombrero or the chain or something when there's a home run.
The jacket for Toronto.
Yeah. Giants got to do something, man. They got to make this thing lighter, funner. And because that was awesome after Wilmer hit the homer, seeing Adames run around and the whole clubhouse, the whole dugout was, fired up. But I want to see that in, key home runs just during a game in the 3rd, 4th inning. I want to see guys,
you know what they should do?
Chain.
How about a damn trolley car bell?
Yeah, there you go.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, maybe that's okay, but not to poop on your idea, Dan. But remember last year with the whole Duvall thing and I remember Larry Baer talking about we got the whole new light system. And he's going to come in and you know what? Winning ball clubs get to do fun and exciting things like that. Show me they can win first before you try to give us gimmicks that backfire in their face.
Yeah, I just think whatever they do, they just
winning allows you to do that stuff.
Yeah, I think they're a little more cohesive unit. I've been hearing, they're doing things together. They're trying to, and I think that's part of creating a 26-man roster. There's going to be changes, but there's not going to be this yo-yo up and down from Sacramento all year. Oh, hey, we've got an upcoming series. We're facing 3 lefties. We better bring in, or we're facing this really tough righty. We need a more left-handed bats. Let's bring up this guy for 3 games. I mean, Farhan, I remember in 22, because that was my last year of season tickets. I was at the opening series. Ramos got called up for a series because they were facing 2 lefties, and then they sent the dude back down. We all thought the Ramos era was here. And I'm like, yes. And they were talking on KMBR. Wow, it happened faster. Nobody's expecting this. And he's gone, just Farhan'd him. Gosh, that was so now, Elliot has the one good thing maybe Farhan did is that he didn't intend to do is he put a fire in a lot of these guys because they just couldn't stand
pissed them off
up and down. It pissed them off. And now you got Matos and Schmidt up, and maybe they're gonna, say, I'm not going back to Sacramento. You're gonna have to drag me back there. So Eric, you're the last to go on this player of the series.
And I'm going to go a little bit different direction. Something that no one's really talked about.
He's going Bomel.
100%. 100%.
How long have I known this guy?
Yeah, buddy. He knew it. I can't believe it. I didn't even tell you. I didn't even tell him.
No.
Yes. Dude.
I know. When you said I'm going a different direction, I said he's going Bomel.
100%. Dude, the guy, look what he did. Who expected? Don't tell me anyone expected Luis Matos to be in the lineup today. No way. And what did he do? He put Luis Matos out there again for the second day. And Luis Matos he didn't get a hit, but I thought he had some pretty good at-bats. He worked the count. He played some decent defense. And then he brought in Schmidt in game 2. And if you notice his moves, he's not making these early moves that we saw in the Farhan.
Oh,
he's making late moves. He's making moves in the 8th and the 9th inning, not in the 4th and the 5th, right? He's letting the guys play. Let's see what you got. And another thing is, what about the bullpen? He's responsible for making these calls. I think his job as far as pulling the guys out of the bullpen has been spot on. I mean, my goodness, everything that he's doing right now as far as moves, it's working. And good on him, man. That's good because point. A lot of people have been shitting on Bob Melvin, including to be myself. Is this the guy? We don't know. Now we're seeing, I think we could all agree that he was definitely on a leash with Farhan Zaidi. 100%, right? And now he's able to do what he wants to do as a manager. And I think he's getting it, and he's getting this stuff done. I mean, goodness gracious.
Interesting that Yaz was 0 for 11 against Nick Martinez. But I will say this, Eric, I agree, is the moves he made, even putting Duvall in today in the 9th with a 3-run lead. Had that been a 1 or 2-run lead, I think Walker would have been in there. Mm-hmm. But he saw a chance to pump up Duvall's confidence and see if he can get in there as a closer. And the other thing I kind of like about it is it's not tiring guys out. It's, the only guy that's pitched more than an inning out of the bullpen is Trevino, who pitched an inning yesterday, and then again
Randy
today.
Rodriguez, 2 innings.
Oh, Randy pitched today.
He did. He's pitched 2 innings. Has got 4 strikeouts.
Yeah. So I like the idea there of this bullpen. If the Giants can get to a lead in the 6th inning and hand it over to Rodriguez and Rogers and Miller, and then you've got Duvall and Walker. Those 5 guys, I mean, basically your long guys are Bivens and Birdsong. And who's the other one I'm missing? Oh, Trevino. So you've got 6 guys that you can think about this. If they can get through 5, they need 4 of the 6 guys to go. And then the other 2 guys, I mean, those guys that didn't pitch, they can pitch the next day if you need them and kind of move this thing around. So I like that. I think Bivens is going to be the weak link. Oh, I see Skaters says the same thing in there. I think Bivens is the guy that will be the first guy, if there's a change in there, maybe Jelly
will come up and replace him. Yeah.
Works his way back up. So But yeah, so
Danny, you also made a comment earlier to start this whole roundtable.
mhm.
Not to put words in your mouth, it's something to the effect of everybody's got to contribute to have success in this team. You can still see it with the youth and the way that, they need somebody to pick each other up. I think this got to be a complete team effort, whether it's the starting staff, the bullpen, the on-field product, this everybody. And at the same point, we talked about it all preseason. You got to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy and everybody produces, could be a great year. But if some of the sprockets start falling apart, it just
Yeah. We've all said the health is going to be the key factor to this
100%.
team. If they can avoid the big injury bug, and it's a day here, a day off here for guys, not this. Oh, he's 2 to 6 weeks on the IL. Those type of things to guys. That's and season ending injuries like last year to Lee. I think we're seeing some interesting things, and I like Eric's deal about Bomel because paid off 2 of the 3 games. Lee hitting third, he came up and drove in the run. Didn't Lou pick Lee or Lee pick Lou, something like that?
Lou picked Lee. Yeah.
And to Eric's point, Bob Melvin, that was a great pick because maybe we're going to see now what Bob Melvin can do with this young ball club. Because maybe we haven't seen what he can do yet. He was under a lot of constraints, I believe, last year.
Oh yeah.
100%.
So we're getting the piece, like he said, throwing out. Dude, he's picking a lineup.
Yeah.
That's a start right there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Bob Melvin is, we look at it and say, oh, he can't manage this. He's with the Padres. He's, done this and this. Let me just show you what Bob Melvin's managerial career record looks like. Look at this. He started at 41 with the Mariners, won 93 games the first year as a manager. Next year, he kind of, stunk up the joint and got sent packing. But then he found a job right away with the Diamondbacks. First 2 years were a struggle. Next year, third year, he won a division. Next year, just over 500. Next year, sent packing. He's out of the game for the rest of 2009 and 2010. He comes in to the A's and takes over midway, and he's 47-52. But look at his first full season. His first 3 seasons were winning records: 94-68, 96-66, 88-74. Couple of losers in there, 15-16, 17. Bounces back with back-to-back 97-win teams in 18 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever that thing is, get out of there.
I hate that, I know.
Yeah. And then how do I get – there we go.
There's the X in the far right. Yeah.
Oh, well, I did something, whatever. All right, we'll get rid of it. But you get the point. Melvin's had some winning seasons, and his overall managerial record is I can get rid of this. There we go. Why does that do that? When I hit the X, it just –
Oh, it's annoying.
Okay, there it goes. Okay. So his overall winning record is 1,598 wins to 1,508. And you say, well, that's not very good. Well, Bruce Bochy has won over 2,000 games, but I think he's lost over 2,000, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's right around 500. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's baseball. I mean, unless you're Dave Roberts and you're handed, the LA Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean,
it's not really hard for that one, right? The way they're.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could manage. All right, guys. Here we go. Let me throw out the ball here. Let's see. Who's pitching today? Let me think. Spin a wheel. Oh, hey, Blake Snell. There you go. Take the ball out there, son. Who wants to make the lineup?
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on. This is crazy. They're 5-0. The Padres are 4-0. The Giants are 2-1. The Diamondbacks are 2-2, and the Rockies are what, 1-2 or 1-3? I think they're 1-2. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting year. I think 4 plus 500 teams. I think the Giants are the 4th team that makes it over 500, and maybe they beat out. If everything falls their way, maybe they fall into third place by some chance. Okay. I picked them to win third. We'll see how it goes. Poor Atlanta. They're 0-4, and guess who they got tomorrow?
Who? What, the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Oh.
They are 0-4, and they got a 3-game set against the Dodgers.
That's
they could be
tough.
going back home for their home opener 0-7.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have Acuna yet and Strider, so you're not full. But I still like the Braves to be there at the end.
I expect big things from the Dodgers before the season started. I told you they could set the 116 mark. I think they could obliterate that. But one thing we always say, the Dodgers, how they buy championships. Well, just because you go out and you get the guy who's all hyped up and you spend money, it doesn't always breed success. Are you guys as shocked? Maybe you're not. I'm shocked at what I've seen from Roki Sasaki so far.
That was rough. Yeah.
2 games, he never made it. He hasn't
I'm
got
not too shocked about it. I don't know if he's fully
terrible.
He's only 22, something like that.
23.
He may struggle. Wouldn't shock me one bit at some point that they send Sasaki down to AAA. At some point, if he and let him figure it out with no pressure. Look, just go
and
pitch.
Look. And think about it.
Have the pitching, right, Eric?
And then look what they had before his game started. They had the World Series rings being handed out. So I mean, there is a lot of the pressure was added on him. There is so much going on, and come on, he's a young kid. I'm not gonna be too hard on him right now.
And just because we bring him over from Japan, look, how long did Haesung Kim end up in camp before they moved him down? So he's got. It wouldn't hurt him to get some innings, some reps down.
Look what happened to Sagano today.
I can't hold the ball.
Yeah, he had a hard time.
Yeah, so I mean,
he has the hand problem. He's actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the DL tomorrow.
That's not good. See, and again, is it because of? Yeah, the only reason why I'm faulting it is just because they haven't pitched in the major leagues. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the balls are different, right? The baseballs are different.
Eric, his clause, because he's not master of his own domain, is first thing. You guys aren't Seinfeld fans then. That's why you can't grip the ball. And second of all, you got to remember, it's like somebody going from the National League to the American League. It's all about adjustments.
Yes.
Spring training, there is no adjustments. And then you also got to remember, he pitched in Tokyo. He pitched game 2? Or was it game? You know, you got to remember the Dodgers right now are in such a plateau. Even though you think you're ready for something like that, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Different league, different everything. So, just give the guy a little time.
Absolutely.
It's just,
for both of them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, you know what? We could be in 2 months when they play the Giants and he pitches 2 or God, that this guy's even better than what we thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, look at Adames. I mean,
right.
Willie's on our team and he can't do anything. Should we get rid of him? But it's only 3 games. It's just everyone just relax.
Hey, who's going to lead the team? Who do you think leads the team in RBIs this year for the Giants?
It's a good one. I predicted that if the Giants are going to break 30 home runs, it's going to be Ramos. So it might be Ramos, man.
That's my guy. He's in a perfect position, batting 5th.
I know.
And he'll bat first sometimes, but I think it's Ramos. And I wouldn't be surprised if second is Lee.
Maybe. Because
guy,
he's batting third.
He puts the bat on the ball. And I think
here's a question. I mean, it's early. Do you think maybe Ramos takes over that cleanup spot? He might.
Eric and I talked about that. I don't know.
Chapman down to the 5.
I'd move Chapman up to the 2, and
we talked about that on the last show. Yeah,
Adames 4. Adames got all his RBIs last year, batting 5th.
You know what? Then do this. Put Adames 5th, Ramos in cleanup, Chapman batting 2nd. That's where they all bat the best, right?
Chapman bats the highest batting average of all spots in the lineup, second and seventh.
Right. So bat him second, and for Adames, his best position is fifth, and then put Ramos in the cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something they do. I mean, look, we're just fans. You know?
I agree too about the Ramos, but only because this is not such a great.
Wait a minute. What is this, Anthony?
RBI
Dan
total
got that from Krug. Anyway. I see Chapman bats better. I've been saying I did a video on that, Anthony, over a week ago. Whatever. It's just yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good video, good breakdown.
He said that during opening day. I said it before opening day. Okay.
You did.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we talked about it. I didn't even know you talked about it. We talked about it last Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been, yeah, that's right. We talked about it on the show last week.
Did.
Yeah. And then I did a video on it. Yeah. I just think that we could see a change in that. Adames is, he's pressing, it looks like. He's trying to do too much.
I like the orange bat, by the way. The orange bat's cool. Better than the purple glove.
Yeah, the purple glove has all to do with that uniform, right?
Yeah, I know. I just
thought you were going to say you like the Yankees milk bottle bats, Eric.
Oh, the freaking
torpedoes?
Yeah, whatever.
What do you guys
I don't know, man.
Now, I want to, when you say 2.25 inch or 2.6 diameter, I always said, my mother had this sewing measuring thing.
The measuring tape.
And then she'd put it around my waist to measure my. Is that the diameter when you go?
Yes.
Like that?
I think so.
2.5 inches around. That's not. That looks a little.
No. I think it's from end to end. It's from end to end. It's not the circumference.
Oh, okay.
It's the how if I go from one end to the other end, it's going to be 2.5.
Gotcha. Okay,
so it can't be like a canoe paddle. Can't be.
It can't be like the. Yeah.
Did you see the rule book that you can't have longer than a 42-inch bat? Could you imagine somebody going up there with a 42-inch bat? Hey, I'm going to guard the outside corner here, baby. Going up there. Could you imagine? Hey, suicide squeeze, go up there with a 42-inch bat, man. They'll throw one outside.
You can't walk up to the plate with one of these. Right?
Oh, those are awesome in wiffle
I know.
ball.
You remember back in? You can't walk up to the plate with one of those.
Well, I wonder how. So they must have got that right to the
right
mat.
Well, supposedly, right? The Yankees, they got a guy named Lenny, who's an MIT physicist who's got a patent. And I guess supposedly, yeah, made that. And I guess somebody else has that same bat. Someone on the Twins, Jeffers, has the same bat. I guess they were talking about that earlier. Yeah,
they don't break the rules, but Major League Baseball did not give approval for their use, so it's still very much up in the air.
Oh, really?
They have to get league approval for the production of the bats. MLB is saying, "Give me approval."
I hear Judge isn't using one of those, right?
No, he's not.
No.
Yeah. Could you imagine if he
doesn't seem to be hurting him either?
How many's he got? 4 or 5 homers?
4.
Something like that. Yeah.
3 in one game. Then he hit the one out the wall, or it would have been 4.
What's up, C. Davis?
Yeah, he hit one today, and he hit one opening day, right?
Yeah.
And he hit 3 yesterday.
Yesterday, I was on the game at 10 a.m. yesterday morning, and I was like, all hell was breaking loose. It was a home run. How many, Eric, do you say by the end of it? He was like 6 or 9 or.
I think there were 6 home runs by the 4th inning.
Unbelievable.
I was watching the game. It was hilarious.
Against Cortez. A guy said last night on the show, he said, Eric, he closes out 1 year with giving up home runs and grand slams. Then he goes back and plays the Yankees, faces his old team, and he's still serving up the long ball. That Cortez had a rough day yesterday.
Oh, boy.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah. And I looked at the fantasy points. It was like Marcus. Holy smoke. He had to dig himself out of a deep hole. Because he had Cortez. I was like, geez, it's 3 minutes into our action yesterday. He was minus 19. I was like, uh-oh.
Aaron Judge could he flirt this year? Last year he hit 58, right?
Yeah.
And he had a horrible start
Postseason.
to the season.
And he missed,
April,
and he was on the DL for 3 weeks.
not last year,
Horrible
the year
start.
before.
Yeah, no,
Not
he got
last
hurt
year,
last year again. Yeah.
Um,
They were talking about today on MLB ESPN pregame. Well, Dan,
Yeah,
keep going. What you were going to say? Can he get another 60? Are you thinking? Or should Barry be nervous?
I think if he stays healthy, he obliterates 60. Because he's been historically, I mean, he didn't have a good April last year and hit 58. I think he only had a few at the end of the month. If he's on pace to, I mean, we're not even in April and he's already got 5.
I know.
He could end up, if he hits another 7 or 8 in the month of April and he's sitting at 13 after April, and, you know, he hits another, he's at 22 after May, and then he's at 30 plus after June, and he's at 40 at the All-Star break. Man, I don't know. He could it would be interesting to see if he's like enters into the month of September with 60 plus homers. Is he gonna go?
That would be some.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it'll be close, but you also got to factor in. I don't think Milwaukee's pitching staff is anything to be excited about either.
Wow,
there's going to be who you're facing, and I mean, this was a great opportunity for him to come out of the gate fast, and he did.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what do you think about this upcoming series now? Tomorrow, start a series against Houston.
Jordan Hicks, right?
Jordan Hicks. Oh boy. Yeah.
Let's see what the
line is.
The rotations are Jordan Hicks tomorrow versus tomorrow Ronel Blanco.
Ooh.
And then on Tuesday it'll be Landon Roop going up. No, they got Webb going. They're skipping.
Oh, skipping Roop?
According to ESPN.
Oh, I saw something. He's going on regular rest.
Okay, so Wednesday must be Roop. Let's see.
Friday off.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going Roop versus Valdez. That makes sense. I'll tell you what. I just said this earlier today. I would like to see Webb start going up against number 4 or 5 guys instead of the other team's number 1, because the Giants don't score and get much run support, and he's constantly being wasted as the ace.
Okay.
If you put him back closer to 4 or 5 in the rotation, now he's going to, I don't know if this will flip or if he'll be missing number 1s at all or how this is going to work out, but got a much better matchup on Tuesday for Webb to be facing who I never heard of the guy who he's facing. What was the name I mentioned? Hayden was. Oh, I've heard of him, but Hayden Wisniewski. I've heard of him, but he's not. I'm sure Glenn will pick him up in fantasy. To
he's already doing it right now. Look, look.
I would if my phone worked, but I'm hand tied here. You know what that does set up, and I'm not a fan, so it's kind of disappointing for. They come back opening day now. That sets up opening day for Verlander.
Yeah, and I like that.
Do you?
I do, and I'll tell you why. It's a big game. It's a big crowd. He's 20 years. He's been doing openers for most of his career. Nothing to him.
Yeah.
You get it. You give it to a non-Web guy. Maybe Ray can handle it. But Ray gets a little too emotional and he gets amped up, and I think he'd get wild. And Hicks, I don't trust.
No.
And Roop, he seems like a guy that could handle. He took on a bear, right? I mean,
that was crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. What?
Oh my! I was like, what?
I know.
Yeah. So I think having Verlander open up, it's also a little bit of a tip of the cap to the veteran, right?
Fair.
The guy that's, and
good point.
Let's hope the last time he pitched in front of 40,000, he doesn't give up 3 gophers.
Well, he gave up 2, and then it was what's his name? Albuquerque
Yeah.
who gave up the 3rd.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn. That was magical though. But real
Yeah.
quick,
Well,
real quick, Lou, before we get to the Houston, did you see the Cincinnati crowd get on freaking Ray? They knew how to get to Ray. Do you hear him do the countdown? Because
I didn't hear that.
Oh man! And then every pitch
he had the delay,
3,
and then
2, 1, and dude, you could tell it was messing with Ray.
Man,
It almost makes me wonder. And I think I texted it. He got a little too comfortable, I think, and then he let the clock get the best of him. He get the violation, and then boom, the fans were right on it, man. Every pitch,
and that was freaking Austin Wins that he gave up.
I know he crushed it too.
Austin Wins. I mean, that was going to be that pitch clock violation was a strike, and it would have been probably strike 3. But who knows? Win may have already known not to swing because he heard the ump say,
he was throwing his arms and walking off. Yeah,
Wynn's one of the first ones to hear that. So interesting, though. Interesting. I don't think it would have happened. Do you think it would have happened if Bailey was in there? I don't think so. I think there's a little bit of communication disconnect with Huff.
Yes, maybe.
Because how much did Huff catch?
Not much.
Ray during the spring, because it could have been Stassi, it could have been Bailey.
If it was Stassi, I don't think it happens.
No, Stassi's a veteran defender. Yeah,
correct. All right, sorry, Luke, go for it. You were about to make.
No. I think tomorrow a big key is the Giants for some reason always have a problem when they've never faced a pitcher for the first time, where they always look like Cy Youngs against us.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. We're playing in Houston, a lot different playing in the Dome. I'm a little worried about Hicks because that Houston lineup loves the fastball. So hopefully he can get his breaking ball over. And, but it should be fun. But I think the main concern about the Giants is, they go against these guys and it doesn't matter. These guys could be 0-9. It's the first time against the Giants offense. We struggle. It's just, common sense. It's been like that probably for the last 8 years, but hopefully we can, start off fast. I think that's the key too with the Giants. We're getting leads. I think a lot of times last year, it always seemed like we were down 3-1 or down 2-0, and we had to climb back. So I know it's only 3 games, but hey, it's a change. So.
It's a change, and that's all we can ask for, right? That's all we can ask for.
I'm happy. We're on the road to start the season, and we won 2 out of 3. I mean, hey, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in Houston.
Houston favorite tomorrow to win the game too, with Blanco in the hill.
Yeah, Blanco was good last year. Let's see what Hicks does, man. I think. Look, the beginning of the season, I think he's going to be okay, but we'll see what happens. A little concerned. The good thing is, hey, at least you can use the bullpen a little bit more. They haven't used Birdsong yet at all, so I mean, if they have to go to him early, he could probably throw a couple of innings.
So what do you expect in this series?
The only one that has.
What do you guys expect?
The only one that hasn't been used Birdsong.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you guys expect in this series? I think this is going to be a little tougher than Cincinnati.
A little bit tougher.
Me too.
I projected, I think on your show, you guys asked what they'd start out with on this road trip. I said 3-3.
That's what I said.
Glenn said 2-4, I think, right?
I said 2-4.
So it's possible. I mean, they're not. I just looked. They're not favored in any one of these 3 games, even with Webb pitching against Wisniewski. They're not favored. That could change.
Really?
Maybe.
Wow.
I think that's the one they got to take. If they're going to take one seriously,
they got to get the Webb one.
Game, because you're in the deeper part of your lineup against a good, always competitive Houston team. So now Houston's going to be Hicks. Who the hell knows, right? Roop. Pretty good, but who the hell knows? But when you're throwing your ace, there's the one you got to win.
Yeah, you got to win that. And if so, I mean, let's hope they can win the series. That would be wonderful to come home 4-2, face Seattle. But I got a feeling they're going to have a tough time. I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and say they lose 2 out of 3. That would be my guess. But each game, takes on a meaning of its own based on how it goes. So we'll see. Giants are going to Houston with some momentum, but Houston opened up against a tough Mets team and won the series 2-3, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they play the Mets?
It's early, Texas to 3 out of 4 from Boston. It's early though.
Yeah.
I know. I think when we did our chat, I think the consensus was among everybody who was in watching the show, the consensus was a 500 road trip. And I guess to start the year on the road, that's
okay.
What you can ask for.
Yeah, if you could get one in Houston and come home 3-3,
I think that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's very good for a team that
Yeah.
didn't make the playoffs last year to get out of the gate 500 on the road. I think that's fine.
It's not an easy schedule, as Lou's pointed out. Seattle's no pushover. They got maybe the best 5-man rotation besides the Dodgers.
Yeah.
In baseball.
And as we get deeper into this month, it will not get any easier.
Oh yeah, you got that road trip with
Phillies
Philadelphia
and Yankees.
And the Yankees.
Let's see them go into New York. Holy
gosh.
It's gonna be tough, man, especially against those torpedoes, man.
Maybe it'll be like
full speed ahead.
Maybe it'll be like Little League, when the Giants come up and they'll just walk over to the Yankees dugout. Hey, can I use your bat? I like your bat. Can I just borrow? Yeah. Hey, yeah, sure, guys. It's just we're sharing bats. It's part of
we still do that today. Hey, I like your bat. Hey, I got a question for you, Dan. You follow all kinds of levels of ball, and you go back in time with ball. If you've got an answer, this is a legitimate question. Why, if you're trying to pull the pedigree of your future from college predominantly, right? Why aren't they using wooden bats in the college ranks?
I've never quite understood that because I don't know. Yeah,
I've never met anybody who can give me an answer to that question.
Aluminum bats are scary, in my opinion, because you hit one of those, it's just tank, man. It's just flies, and the players seem to adjust. We've seen guys like Langford come out, and some of these other young hitters that are coming out of college, and they're jumping right into the pros. I know in the Cape Cod League they use wooden bats, right, but throughout the college circuit and travel they don't. They got to. I don't have an answer for that.
Money.
Yeah, that's
probably. I was going to say probably money. Yeah, because I thought about it, money. But these colleges seem to be loaded anyway. But Easton, yeah, that was the bat. That was I played in an era when aluminum bats just came out. Like my first little year of, I guess they called it like Pee-wee. I was like 7. I was 7. My first year of organized ball. I was 7 years old. I played on a team called the Colts. We wore these green uniforms, and it was your mother had to iron on the letters on your shirt with a knife. I remember it because mine's a little crooked. The team, I'll see if I can pull up the team picture. It's hilarious. We're all looking in the sun like, and we just look like a bunch of little nerds. But we use wooden bats. And then my next year was junior Little League. I was 8, and we started to get the aluminum bats.
Yeah.
It was 1969, 68, 69. That was I don't know when aluminum bats came out. Maybe somebody could look that up, but that's the first I ever was introduced to it, and I loved it. I just loved it. It had you had a rubber grip instead of the wood that you
had to tape
slippy, up. The rubber grips were great, and the bats were kind of light, and we all used the same bat for the most part. We had 2 or 3 bats, and some of the big guys maybe used a little bit of a heavier one or whatever.
I don't know if it was the same with you. When I was a kid, we'd have and that you're lucky if you had a team that had 4 bats. You'd have 4 bats laying on the ground by the dugout, and you'd pick one up. But was it the same when you played, Dan? Everybody used it seemed like there was just the one bat everybody used.
Pretty much, yeah. Everybody
would
just
touch the old wooden one, and then there was this oh god, this one's got too much tape in there. Everybody just picked that. Or Dan gets up and laces a double. I'll take that one. Everybody wanted when you're a kid. You just wanted the hot bat.
Dan,
yeah.
This is getting me thinking. I wonder if we should put on a freaking baseball game, man.
Play
Would
a
that
game.
be fun? Yeah.
Let
Let's
me
see
get my
who-
hip replaced. Let me get my hip replaced first.
You can be the DH. We'll get someone to run
Jesus,
for you.
dude. I just said to Bernice today, we were walking through Costco. I said,
That would be so
I
freaking
walk like
fun,
Bruce
man.
Bochy now. I couldn't run the bases anymore. How about you, Lou? Lou could be our speedster at this pace.
Well, first of all, I started in Cub Scouts, so it was softball that we played,
Yeah.
and then grammar school.
Oh, you
was until
Cub
fifth
Scouts
grade.
where you knitted the
With
ball
softball.
together. You built the ball. That was
You
your
built the
project.
No. It was pretty. That was very. Because you played
Dude, that would
against
be
other.
so much
You
damn
played
fun.
against other Cup packs, and then when I played, I saw one of the guys in high school. We had the Easton Black Magic. That was like the bat.
Oh,
And then
the smell of Ben Gay, man.
Yeah. And then the biggest problem I had, guys, I played catcher. So I pitched and caught, but most of the time I was catcher. So once you got to sixth grade, that was the last year where there were regulation size bases. When you went to seventh, you being the catcher, when they were stealing, reaching second base wasn't as easy as the grammar school. It was always different. And in seventh and eighth grade, you had the bases that actually you had to slide into. They didn't leave you. That was they were permanent bags, so you had to make sure you knew how to slide, or you would hurt yourself.
Man,
I
that
found
would be
it.
a lot of-
When I played hockey when I was a
I
kid,
found
I
my
was a
7-year-old.
decent hockey player. So I went pretty much all the way until I got hurt. I had 2 sticks, guys.
Play to
I
you.
had 2 sticks. And now, well, Eric, you've heard me do the play-by-play. Remember the Roadrunner, Stevie Dixon?
Oh, yeah.
When Steven Dixon played on the team and I was the team broadcaster, he was one of our goal scorers. His dad was pissed. Opening night, got him his stick. He broke his stick. That was about 15 years ago when he played his rookie season. And Steven Dixon broke his stick opening night. That's $900 stick, Eric. I made 2 wooden sticks last a whole season. And you bought your own. The team didn't buy them. And now they've gone back to that. The team won't buy you your stick. The players, because they're all graphite now. And you can pick them up with 2 fingers. I had a big wooden heavy stick. The game has changed, man. The game is, you could go. I played pro hockey with a stick that basically came out of Walmart for $29. And now none of these players play with anything less than about an $800 stick.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. I found the pictures.
Right.
See if you can spot me, but don't let the hair fool you. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That hair. Okay. See if you can.
Oh, Jesus.
The Colts. Look at that. Your name's kind of in the way.
Oh, I mean,
Your
My guess is that's you right up under the light standard.
hold
You're
on,
right
I
in
know
the
what to do.
corner.
Hold on.
Are you up in the?
Hold on.
We lost them all together.
There we go. Hold on. There we go.
I think that's Dan right in the back corner with the big belt going, holding his pants up. Is that you, Dan?
What? Where?
To me, it's on the right. Could be on the left of the picture. That's you with the big brown belt holding your pants up behind the guy with the glove on his knee.
With the eyes closed?
Way over there. Yeah.
Right under the light standard. Right
Yeah,
in the back
that's
corner.
me. That's
There
me.
you go.
Sun's always bothered my eyes. I'm nearsight. It's just like
Dan standing in that picture. You know how you look, Dan? You look like I'm just happy to be here.
hey, my first game, they hit a ball to center field. I was playing out there, snagged it. There was a guy on second. He didn't know the rules. He runs. I ran in and touched second base. No one else knew it. Nobody
Unassisted. Double play.
Nobody knew what to do. But except I was like, I've been watching baseball, and I got 2 older brothers. I learned the game, man. He didn't tag up. I didn't throw it in because I figured the guy wouldn't be able to catch it.
Oh man.
Oh, that's in youth hockey when you're playing with a bunch of kids and you're the only guy who will stay on side. And the other 9 guys are playing inside the blue line the whole game. And you're like 6 going, you got to stop the play and explain how the rules. God.
Oh, I wish we could have got Ryan into your guys' fantasy league. This guy, listen to him.
I like
I
Eric's
didn't
idea.
join the fantasy because I didn't want to dominate the whole league.
Oh, look at that.
You
Oh,
couldn't.
man.
You couldn't with Robbie Dizzle up there. Boy, he
Oh my
played
God,
possum,
dude.
didn't he? Well, I'm going to give it a try. The guy is like,
All right.
he's unstoppable.
We've got a new saying for here it is. You guys want to see what the new
Robbie Dizzles.
Robbie Dizzle leading not NorCal, but Giant Sports Talk Live Fantasy Baseball League. Robbie, I love you. You're a great guy. I don't know a nicer guy in all of what we do here.
Yeah.
But Dizzle's gonna fizzle.
Dizzle will fizzle. Uh-oh. There you go. You got a target on your back, Robbie.
You got a target now. You got a target.
Hey, look who moved into fourth place. Woo!
Who did?
Giants
Me?
are Schmidtless. Had a good weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And I pulled myself up. Poor Dilly. I had a feeling this was going to happen to Dilly.
Yeah.
Dilly is
We'll see.
not just in the basement. He is falling like a Led Zeppelin.
It's early. Look,
But he is.
it's early.
I don't know how he's going to dig himself out of that one.
He can. Come on. Look, Dan was able to do it. He could do it.
Yeah, but he's going to have to restructure. He's got to. Well, Dan isn't afraid to make moves. Dilly's he's sticking with.
He'll make moves. You watch. I guarantee you he will.
Better. He's got every closer in baseball. He's only getting like 2 points a night.
So he'll be able to trade a couple of those. Trust me.
That's my only prediction. I say Dilly finishes in last place in this league.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going out on a limb there.
Look at that.
And Eric was in. Eric, you certainly weren't in uncharted waters with me the last couple of days there. Holding down like 10th and 11th spot.
Hey, it's all good, man.
Oh my God. Yes,
It's a marathon.
Funny, though, if it can change in you look at what you did, Dan, last year and again this weekend. It's early. But man, I was some sour after opening night. I go, the league's over, the season's done. Oh my God. And then 2 days later, I'm up, I think, in fourth or fifth.
It's all
I
good.
moved right up too, and Dan moved up. So dude, it's frustrating.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon. You're not going to win this league in 2 weeks.
By the way,
No.
Dan, did you know Eric changed the rules this year? I can't screw myself out in April by making too many roster. But you've got. Did you
could
know
run
that
out of
happened?
money,
Did
though.
Lou know that happened last year in the fantasy league, Lou? You were only allowed 35 roster moves for the year. And by May 2nd, I
65.
used them all.
Or
And
62.
then nobody traded with me. I was screwed.
62. Yeah, Mike ran out of moves too, and we were
Mike and I were screwed.
Mike was
by
calling
the
me and
fifth
go,
week.
okay, can you pick up so and so and all off waivers and I'll then trade you him because he couldn't pick him up. So yeah.
My wife followed it with me, kind of just backing up what I do for the first 5 weeks, and she's like, "Congratulations on winning week 2." And I'm moving on to do something else with my summer.
Hey Lou, what do you think of the final four, all number 1 seeds? Second time it's only happened one other time, and you know
Correct.
what? It happened when it happened. I can't remember what year it was, but the final four was in San Antonio.
At San Antonio, same thing.
And here it is
Two
again.
times.
4 number 1 seeds in San Antonio. Who's going to win it? I think the 2 best teams might be playing each other in Houston and Duke, but Florida Auburn is going to be a tough game too.
I think Florida against Duke. All depends on the refereeing. If you haven't watched this tournament, Duke wins. I mean, they're good, but they always average at least 6 to 8 more free throws. They get a lot more calls. I mean, I don't want to say much. I mean, they beat us. They were better than us tonight, but they got every call in the book. Doesn't matter. I mean, and it's not just this year. People have been complaining the last 5 years. Duke gets every single call. It's almost like ESPN is paying the refs. So, it all depends.
Can we say with a certainty that baseball, and I would put hockey up there too. That's a very fair sport. It's officiated well, but I don't think there's a more less controversy of a sport than baseball when it comes to officiating. And I think you get a true champion. You don't get, oh, the refs jobbed us or the umpires jobbed us. You get that all the time in the NFL. All the time, week after week after week, there's controversy.
I think baseball's good, except the home plate umpire.
Yeah, but he usually does it for both teams for the most part.
Yeah, usually it's not one.
That affects the game.
It does.
I mean, Hernandez was so bad that he called. I mean, I'm just saying, but no, I mean, I think
they're going to correct that though. They're going to go to some form of challenge or robo.
Yeah, and that's why. So at least they're moving in the right direction. I think college basketball, when Duke's involved, especially like if you've looked over the last 8 years, when the games are at Duke, they average 22 more free throws on an average per game.
I mean,
now,
basketball,
that's at Duke, not on the road.
Basketball and football.
You got LeBum, who basically probably gets 5 or 6 calls, even though he doesn't deserve them. As Dan says on a lot of post-game shows, what does Steph have to do to deserve to get calls, where a lot of times they don't give him the benefit of the doubt, but they will with LeBum. So, I mean, it's just, it's one of those things. I mean, it's sort of weird, and Glenn would know this. It's not always the pitcher that determines the odds in baseball. It's the home plate umpire. Where the home plate umpire determines the over and under because, it might be someone tight. I mean, if you ever watch the beginning of a Giants game, first thing he says, Kipe, is, hey, guys, this guy's a pretty good umpire. He gives it to you outside on the corners. It's like they know what his.
Oh, that's Kruko does that. Yeah,
Kruko does that. I mean, but he knows it. So you got to remember, I never realized that. I figured, it's just the 2 starting pitchers. No, the over and unders determine who's behind home plate. They get because one time they had a game where it was the same thing. 5 months later, same pitcher, same everything, different umpire, and the spread wasn't even close. So I think it's, it determines a lot, who the home plate umpire, because
we got some
you don't get away with, you don't get away with very much in hockey like you used to back when I was a kid. It changed a long while ago. You've got 2 referees.
Yeah, because they got 4 out there now.
There's not much that goes uncalled.
Unmissed.
They call what's got to be called. You don't
Hockey
get away when there's one referee on an ice in the fast game and it's physical. You can get away with the odd. Get a guy right in the groin. Boom! I loved doing that. You just sneak there. You get the stick backhand and boom! Down he goes. But then when you got 2 referees, you got 4 eyeballs.
Nice guy, Glenn. I'm not sure if I want to do a meet and greet here. Hey, Glenn. Yeah.
Well, Derek knows I'm all carved
There's
up.
a ball. Hit that deep right. Way back.
I was only about, I lost all my teeth when I was about 14.
Oh, man. I
Carved
see some
up,
comments there. Good comment there by Audie. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I do want to point out here in the chat, if I can go back here a little bit. Will says, Dodger fans, welcome here. We enjoy the banter. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, we don't like the Dodgers, but we don't, we're not
discrimination.
We're not going to rip on the people just because you're a Dodger fan. We do have one comment here. I want to, somebody said, screw Dodger fans or something like that. Look, hey, you know what? I got friends that are Dodger fans. Look, baseball, I went to a baseball game. Wasn't even a Giants game, spring training the other day. It was Brewers and Seattle. And we're just striking up conversation, talking with Brewers fans and Seattle fans, and we're mixed in the crowd. And I'm just, and my friend's with me who's a Dodger fan, and I'm a Giants fan, and we're just It's baseball,
Talking
people.
baseball, man.
Come on, you should be able to. You should be able to.
We had an open line where we got people from the chat on our show. What night was it, Eric? Well, I think it was baseball. It was opening day eve show. It was kind of an open phone line, and people could come on, and that was what we threw right around the table to everybody who came on the show. What does opening day mean to you? And they echoed exactly what I said, Eric. When everybody would come on, I said it's like the first day back from summer break at school. You're with your friends. And even the people you make new friends, and you have, it's a common bond. Like, dude, yesterday, how many games did I watch? I think I watched 7 games yesterday. And I said, Eric, opening day means you change the batteries in the flipper. I was going from game to game to game. I just want to watch some ball and meaningful ball. And on the chat when we do our shows, and it's likewise for you guys, I'm sure, people want to talk ball.
Yeah, people love talking
ball and watch ball and see what other teams are doing and get that. I love seeing the opinion of the other fans.
Yeah, it's just, hey, look. I mean, if you
ever hear the term the love of the game? That's what it is for me.
Yeah, I look. I went to a Dodger Giants game in LA. I used to live in Southern California. I was in my that was 9. I know that what was the guy's name? Pedro Guerrero? Yeah, Pedro Guerrero. He was an outfielder for the Dodgers, and it was poster night. And I was out in the bleachers with my friend, who's now a doctor. He was in med school. He became a doctor. He might have even been a doctor at that point because I was in my mid-20s. Anyway, Dodger night or Pedro Guerrero night. The Giants bats came alive that night, and it was like 12-13 to nothing. And I was just having a good time. And I wasn't drinking or anything, but I started standing up and, hey, Pedro Guerrero, and held the 24x36 poster up, and everybody's like, yeah. And I started ripping it. And man, did I have things throwing hot dogs at me, and I'm just like, and everybody's, and my buddy's way up on the left field line in the third deck, and he says, "Oh, there's a ruckus down there in the outfield." And he puts his binoculars on. He goes, "That's Dan." So,
wow,
I don't do that stuff anymore. Okay, I mean, I go to the game. I'm not trying to make a ruckus with other teams' fans. Look, I want to get home in one piece.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I can't have a little fun with a Dodger fan. Yeah,
of course.
And if I don't know a dude and he's losing it, I'm not going to egg him on.
Right.
But if it's a buddy of mine and we can talk smack with one another, that's part of the fun. So if you don't have friends of the opposite team, especially your arch rival, you're missing out, man, because you can talk smack. I got to listen to this guy sending me text, when the Dodgers walk it off, and it was like, I just send it back and say, don't care.
Don't care.
I'm not giving him the status. Yeah. So, yeah, he sent me the other night, I just like, oh, hey, Betts, 2 homers, okay. You know what? Because he was talking to me when Wilmer hit that home run. He had called me because he was out, and I started going nuts. And I just said, Wilmer, home run, Giants are up, 6-4, 3-run homer. And that was exciting. That was exciting. I hope that's not our exciting moment of the season.
We didn't have many last year, though. Hey,
not
we
many.
Didn't have many last year.
Not many. This was great. It was did you guys, you probably already heard this, but first time ever Giants come back on opening day on the road to win in the 9th inning.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this franchise over 100+ years old.
I know, right?
Man,
that's a lot of history, man.
And you know what? I talked earlier, and I'm going to maintain Wilmer Flores. I said he's the most clutch player, especially off the bench. If you had a guy coming in late, you want to. For me, it's Wilmer. Dan, one of these days, You can do me a favor, buddy. You're the stats guy. You like diving into that computer of yours. Find out for maybe next week's show and let me know how many games did Wilmer play as a New York Met? Because he didn't play a whole lot as a Met.
He's coming up close
2.5 years, I think.
He's a little more than
years.
that. A little more than that. He's coming up on surpassing games played as.
No, I'm saying with the Mets. Sorry.
No, I
Not
know,
the
but
Giants.
he's
Okay.
He's been. This is his 5th year. 2020 was his first year. So 21, 2, 3, 4. This is his 6th year. 6th year with the Giants.
But I said this to Eric one night. You know where I found it out? The back of a baseball card. You know, Wilmer Flores holds the all-time New York Mets record for most walk-off hits.
Wow.
More than Rusty Staub?
Wilmer's the franchise leader in walk-off hits.
Wow.
Wow.
So I call that clutch. In a very abbreviated career there. And he was a fan favorite. The fans freaking love him there. We still go to the card shows in like Philadelphia, and they're like, I'll have my Flores Giants jersey on, and people stop and they're like, oh my God, we miss him in New York. We take him back tomorrow. And I go, I know a lot of people in our chat have said you're going to have him, but not me. But I thought that was one of the most interesting stats I've ever seen. Wilmer Flores, all-time leading walk-off hit batter. More walk-off hits than any other Met. And
581 games as a Met. 581 games, started in 2013 and played through the 18 season, and then had one season with the Diamondbacks in 19. That year with the Diamondbacks, he hit 317. Jeez.
The guy's not bad. He's just, he's like blue collar. He's not.
581.
Players,
581. Right? And I'll tell you how many he's played with the Giants.
I call him a silent assassin.
He's played 544 games with the Giants, 581 with the Mets. So he is going to surpass that if everything goes well, stays healthy, probably in another 40 to 50 games.
Well, I guarantee you, if you talk to some pretty staunch Mets fans and ask them that question, they still wouldn't know it was what they'd say. Like Lou said, Rusty Staub, that'd be a first guess. Even Keith Hernandez, they'd come up with names that nobody would say Wilmer Flores.
Propa.
There you go. Why do the Giants rarely have opening day at home? Wanting more home games toward the end of the season only makes sense for a team that's constantly going all in. Ooh.
Well, there's a couple of things. They like to finish.
They just like to finish at home.
They like to finish at home. September and October is the best weather in San Francisco all year.
Right.
I mean, if you go to if you play in October, the wind is pretty much, the flags are still. It's the best. October is the best month for weather-wise. But September, the end of September, you're playing the last week of September right into the first week of October to end the season. And, if the Giants are in it, they're going to pack the house. And they're not going to get many people other than opening day in April. Mm-hmm. They're not going to draw that many. But if the Giants are in the race, I can remember, well, you just don't have to go back that far in the championship seasons, packed houses all year long, but especially October. You go back to Candlestick Days, it was amazing. I used to be amazed at the weather at Candlestick in September, in October. It was like, you'd think it. I went to a game in July, and I was walking in the parking lot. I was like 17 or maybe 17 or 18. I was going to the game with a girlfriend I was dating, and we're walking in the parking lot, and a wind gust threw me. Threw me into a car. It just like
what?
I lost my balance and got just walking, and just the wind out there at Candlestick Point.
Doesn't sound like Eric was Dan was reading the back of those comic books. He needs to do the Dan Weeder way.
I wasn't very heavy.
The guys kicking sand on your face on the beach too.
Believe it or not, I was only 155 pounds.
Holy cow!
Yeah, in high school.
Mookie Betts, you're a Mookie.
Yeah, I was skinny. I was 5'11", like I am now, but I was 40 plus pounds lighter. I wish I could get that. That would be nice to be one. I'd love to be about 165, 170 right now. But
just think, if you had married that girl, she could have carried you across the threshold.
I was a kicker, man. I had strong legs. I wasn't expecting it. It just kind of went, whoa. I kind of lost my balance. I just went, because it was just a gust of wind. So, and that's in summer. That's the summer months at San Francisco. You guys know, you live there, Glenn. It's windier than hell in the summer. And you get into the September, it's just some of the best weather. October, man, some of the best weather in the country is right there in San Francisco.
Dan, it blows me away. One of the real eye openers here, and my wife would tell you, man, I just shake my head and I look at people like they're nuts. Around Christmas, it always seems like December, a lot of rain, but it's the end of the earth. I mean, it's the next coming. Oh, big storm. I go, it's raining out. Like, come to Canada and you'll see a big storm. You could spend January in Canada. Now that's a storm. It rains in the Bay Area. It's like, oh my God, they're shutting down the mall. Big storm. It's like, you can't be kidding. We go out and play in that. Come on.
Yeah. So
I like the fall. And you know what? Around football season, I love the Bay Area around fall. It's perfect.
Yeah, we have a thing called the Indian summer. Indian summer, that's where we call October is our best weather and earthquake weather. But if you guys remember last year we opened in San Diego, and then the fourth game of the season we opened against the Dodgers. So, it's what they try to do because of the situation is one of the teams in our division always has to open up on the road. You don't want all the teams playing at home because then, you got to remember the MLB is trying to do their best with the schedule. So, last year we opened up in San Diego and then we did here, So
this is a weird schedule this year, guys. I've never seen a schedule where they always try to leave the game. Like you get a whole lot of teams play Thursday and a whole lot of teams play Friday.
Yeah.
And then once you get into Saturday, Sunday, it's season on. Here we had the Dodgers didn't play today. There were teams didn't play today.
That was because of Apple TV wanted them on Friday night. They were off originally Friday. They were like the same schedule as the Giants. Apple TV wanted the game Friday night, so they moved it to Friday and took today off.
Oh.
Yeah, so, the Giants had a Sunday off last year too. It was weird. You wouldn't expect it, but it happens. It's all about Sundays, the money now.
Sundays in my house, anyway. Sunday's a baseball day.
Yeah.
Weekend for baseball. But Eric, did you play any? I've never asked you. What were your sports of choice as a kid?
When I was a kid, I played more basketball and track and soccer.
Ice hockey. You?
Basketball, track, and soccer.
Ooh,
soccer was big in the Valley. Holy crap. Everybody, all the kids in the damn city were playing soccer. That was something big.
Did any of you guys play it? None of you guys. I guess maybe it's West Coast. None of you guys were into hockey, were you?
We didn't have hockey.
We didn't have
lacrosse until early 90s. Lacrosse is for the guys who didn't want to play football or they lived in Marin. It just wasn't a sport. Hockey wasn't here because we had no rings, no ice rinks.
I played high school football, but nobody wanted to play. It was hard to even put a team together. Different world we live in, right? Football was nothing back then. In Canada, it was.
I'll tell you, I got to hand it to hockey players because to me, that's to be skating that fast and be getting ready to take a hit. I can't even. I've tried skating in my 20s. That's my first attempt at it. I guess if you start skating at 5, 6 years old, it's you learn it quicker.
I skated before I could walk. I was on. You'd have a little. I don't know if you'd see them. A little chair from the dollar store, and you'd put on the skate and you'd walk with. I was skating at 2, 3. I could skate when I was. I not to blow my own horn, but when I was about 5, 6, and that's when I really got into playing hockey. 5 or 6 years old. And I could skate backwards better than any other kid could skate forwards. And my brother is the same way. My brother is a superior athlete to me. My brother can excel at every sport. My brother played gentleman's hockey. I think I told you on the show last year. My brother played gentleman's hockey. He was he 12 or 13? He was 12 or 13 playing against guys in their 40s. And it was a no-contact league until he would score 13 goals, and then they were trying to put him into the 15th row of the seats. Like, it became – and then my mom was just like, that's it. He ain't playing no more. So,
yeah,
you're just –
I can't skate at all. I mean, skating is very difficult, I think, if you're trying to learn it late.
Glenn?
I could still do it, but we talked about this, Eric and I, a few weeks ago. You know what would happen, Dan? If the four of us went out on the pond tomorrow, I'd skate rings around you. But I'd have to get a nurse to help me out of bed the next morning. I'd have muscles that I hadn't used, and it was the same every year. You'd have to lift your legs out of the bed, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I
wouldn't want to do
that. Glenn, 2 things happen. First of all, in Canada, we have bowling out here with 10 pins. You guys still use a small ball and only 5 pins. So, yeah, I never seen that until I was in Montreal. And if it wasn't for Wayne Gretzky and rollerblades, nobody would even know what hockey is out here, unless you're from the East Coast. Because West Coast, we didn't have anything. We were very late arriving. Gretzky, you got to remember the Sharks are, I don't even know if they're even 20 years old. I think they're like 22 years old. That's it. And we had no other form. The Kings were always sort of here, but hockey wasn't that big. I mean, Gretzky out here was big. It's, to tell you the truth, we always had soccer. I remember when Pele played against Oakland, because Oakland had a soccer team when Pele played for the Cosmonauts. We didn't really have soccer out here. We were strictly. It was
the youth soccer.
It's one
was
of those
big,
things because of the West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, more people knew about. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say more people knew how to, what is it when you go to, going down waves? Like when you're Hawaii and you want to go on, surf. More people knew how to surf here because we had it like in Pacifica and everything, and it was cheap. But really, it was all T-ball, baseball, football, because we had PAL out here, Police Athletic League, and then, watching. We had this big sports to watch. That's, we didn't have a soccer team. Earthquakes were, really not big. We had no lacrosse, which was, East Coast thing, hockey, East Coast Canada thing, born and raised. I mean, hell, we didn't even really have good football teams. People forget USF used to have a good football team, but then, no more. But the big thing out here is Notre Dame. When growing up, we had highlights of Notre Dame football because football out here wasn't that big. But, it's just sort of where your demographics are where you're born. It's just one of those things. Like, weird. Everybody knows. Yeah. And
you're
hockey's life.
Scene.
Where you're at.
Lou, you're around the sports scene. Hockey here is like a cult following because I never see a Sharks hat.
I mean, Canadians invented doggy style so they could watch the game while they were having sex. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's well done.
I keep telling you that.
Yeah. And plus, you guys had somebody like Don Cherry that made Saturday night hockey night in Canada. We never had that out here. We were lucky enough to have
created
Monday night football or Monday night baseball.
Good God.
Family show.
Lou, I've never heard that one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a fact. Everyone knows that. It's Canadians' claim to fame. I mean, and you know what's so funny? When Wayne Gretzky Mr. Hockey himself played for Edmonton Oilers. Nobody on the West Coast even knew who Wayne was. You go, hey, Wayne the Great. You go, who's Wayne Gretzky? Who are the Edmonton Oilers? Where's Edmonton even located? That's how big. That's how
near Alberta, isn't
unknown.
it? Edmonton, isn't it? Up
Nobody knew hockey until the Great One got traded here. That's what really
Yes,
helped.
I was going to say that. You look at hockey. You can thank the advancement of hockey in the West region of the U.S. I mean, they had the L.A. Kings. I mean, prior to the Sharks, there was the California Golden Seals that was around in the 70s.
My neighbor played for them.
That folded.
And then they moved to Minnesota, I believe. I think that's where they went.
No, they went to California Seals, ended up, I believe.
Atlanta, Minnesota, or
City Chiefs.
Huh?
Kansas City Chiefs.
No. The Seals?
Huh? The Seals.
The Seals?
Or they became Kansas City.
No, I think
because Gilles Meloche played there.
I think they played. I think they went to Minnesota, if I recall. But that's my memory. You might be right.
I'm going to double check. I think the Seals went to Kansas City.
Okay, so they moved
Roller
on.
derby was at Kezar.
And then there was nobody out here. There was no hockey anywhere but the L.A. Kings, and Gretzky gets traded, and all of a sudden, you get a couple years after that.
I was wrong, Dan. I said Kansas City. Stupid.
Who was it?
Cleveland.
They moved to Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland.
Okay, the Cleveland Barons.
That's right, the Barons. So you had nobody out here playing with hockey, and then all of a sudden you get Anaheim, and you get San Jose, and you get Phoenix.
And Anaheim is after the movie, The Ducks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get
Disney.
Then you got Vegas. So Phoenix lost its team to Utah, but I think Phoenix will get a team back here, hopefully in the next few years.
They need a stadium. They were playing.
They got to build
playing a rink with 5,000 seats. Damn.
Well, we have a rink in Glendale that's right next to where the Cardinals play. It's a beautiful rink for hockey, but the city of Glendale is, for some reason, they're kind of like Oakland.
Yeah,
there used to be a rink. There used to be a rink out there in Phoenix. I can't remember what it was. It was an older one. It's where it had the big giant tower. Can't remember what the hell it's called, but I remember my supervisor used to go play out there. I used to go watch him play hockey when I was stationed at Luke.
Huh?
Did you go to Seals games?
They had like a men's league.
Did you go to Seals games, Dan?
I went to one. I went to one. Yeah.
You know the problem. You know why the Seals didn't work out? It was the ownership.
Wasn't it Finley? Right? Didn't Finley own the team?
Finley owned it. And They didn't know they get paid on Friday.
My brother used to mow the lawn of Craig Patrick.
Yeah, Craig Patrick played there with Norm Ferguson, who was my neighbor. And Craig Patrick went on to fame because he was the general manager, put together the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team that beat Russia.
Yeah. Craig Patrick lived in Concord area, and my older brother used to do his yard work, and and then Joe Starkey used to be the announcer for the Seals.
You know who the original announcer was for them?
I think it was
their original.
The original.
Who was the original Seals?
John Miller, wasn't it?
Johnny Miller. Because Eric and I listened off air a few nights ago. I've got some game tapes. I got a whole lot of radio stuff. And in the archives, I said, listen to this. And it's Johnny Miller calling the game. And he's just as smooth doing that as he is doing baseball.
Glenn,
I think he took his head off on that play, Dan. It's just great.
Glenn, we actually had two. We had one single A team and then one between single A and double A. We had a team that played at the Cow Palace called the San Francisco Shamrocks, and then which was here for 3 years. And then we had the San Francisco Spiders.
Brent Bilodeau was a friend of mine. He played for the Spiders. That was short-lived, though, eh?
1 year, and then they sold out. And to tell you the truth, opening day, they played against LA. It was sold out at the Cow Palace. Great. I had tickets right behind the goal. the tickets, I think, were $12. I had somebody, I used to work at a sporting goods chain called Big Five. I don't know if you've heard of it. And the guy came in and goes, "Hey, we have a new team. Would you be interested in 10 games?" It was $120. I'll get 2. Loved it. But, at the Cow Palace, it probably holds 12,000, maybe 15,000 at the most. And after opening day, there was 1,500, and then they had to move. So, but yeah, the Spiders were great. It was 1 year, but it was a great thing. It's just hockey just was never big out here.
My buddy was.
That was the first time I saw Link Gates played for the Spiders.
The missing link. He was the missing link.
Gates.
That guy, Eric, that guy just kill you for the fun of it.
Yeah, he was our brawler. He was our brawler, and he never played hockey, but he played street hockey on rollerblades.
He played rollerblade stuff.
Yeah,
but he could fight, and that's what Dan.
He was our fighter.
That's what dude. I was a decent player, but I told Eric the story about the day I've got severe neck problems. You guys probably know that. I've had surgeries on my back, my neck, and blah, 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 right? I remember the night I like to fight, Dan. So I decided I'd just take on the whole team. I was skating up the wing, and I cut to center and made a beeline, and I dove into the other team's bench. And then they all put a beating on me like I've never had before. But they're all just like, there's 18 guys trying to get a whack in at me. Those were the good old days, buddy. That's why I lost. We had to wear the cage. Remember the Cooperalls and the cage? You had to wear that.
Yeah.
I still lost all my teeth. I got no teeth, man. I lost all my teeth when I was 14.
Wow. Who was the guy that Philadelphia Flyers, Dave Schultz, growing up. He was the enforcer.
Yeah. What's his name? What was his nickname?
Oh,
Dave the Tiger.
Butcher.
I'm getting old. Dave Hammerhead, wasn't it? Hammerhead Schultz. Dave the Hammer. Hammer. And then in the do you remember
the Hammer. The Hammer, it was
the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs in that league. You had the Hanson brothers, but they had the Ogie Oglethorpe.
Yeah, Ogie
with the hair out to he had a hair the size of
remember Paul Newman banged his wife. She's a lesbo.
It was crazy. Hockey's such a fun sport, man. Anyway. We got off the rails on hockey here for some.
That was it. That was the scene of the movie.
Hey, Dan, I got a clip of Whizzin' Hunt. How about that?
There we go. Oh, I thought you were going to pull us a clip of Canadians watching hockey.
No.
Dang, that would get some viewership going, huh? Might get us banned, but we definitely have. Maybe we can get some super chats going if we play the Canadians watching some hockey.
Senior was at the ballpark today. He was watching. As a matter of fact, he was out there yesterday too, watching Harrison. But he was out there watching Whizzin' Hunt. This is what he was able to capture for us.
All right.
Hell of a changeup.
Yeah. Did you see? I saw some of
That's
the highlights.
a hell of a changeup, man.
I saw some of the highlights of his striking out quite a few guys, and he's going to be a factor. He's going to pitch some games. I think
he's going to be.
Yeah, he's going to pitch some games.
Dude, that guy freaking, you see how the bottom drops out? Man, dude. And that's coming from the left. Man, I just hope he could get that control, because that's his issue, right? His command. He just has no command. Maybe he's working on that. Golly, man. And I like it. Doesn't his motion look better than Harrison? Harrison just still is all herky-jerky. I'm going to look at that one more time. Let's look at his move.
All right. Harrison lifts his leg and then
and he twerks and his arm pulls back, his legs. That seems a lot more repeatable, right? Easily repeatable. Yeah. So let's see what this kid does, man.
I think the Giants, what they're really trying to do is, it seems to me like they're trying to build a staff like Seattle of all these young pitchers, right?
Mhm.
If they can have, as I see in the chat there, Harrison Senior says Wizenhunt, Harrison, Roop, Birdsong. That's 4 young guys, and then you throw in a Webb or something like that. They're trying to have that. I think they're a little gun shy when it comes to trading. I think they have I'm hoping that they make a move, that they're in the race, and that they make a move for a significant bat. They need one more bat in that top 5 that's really somebody fears, right?
Mhm.
That nobody, I mean, look, we really don't have anybody was like, oh my gosh, here comes Adames, here comes Jung Hoo, here comes Chapman, here comes Ramos. I mean, Ramos.
You're talking about that guy.
The guy, yeah, the guy.
The thumper.
They need
the thumper.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, the thumper with the torpedo bat. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's out there, who's available, who's going to be available. But, Eldridge is most likely going to be that guy if everything goes right. And they're hoping that happens as early as 26. I mean, they may be hoping it happens in late August and that he's there. I don't expect it personally. I think let's just let him develop and not try to rush the guy.
Yes.
And when he breaks down the door and he says, I'm ready, I'm here, then he's here. But let's not push him. And I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either.
Isn't he going to start in AA?
I haven't even. Well, he's hurt. He's got a sore. I shouldn't say he's not like on the IL, but he's got a sore wrist. And I don't know what that's all about, man. And is he going to be a first baseman? That's going to be a question. Is he going to be an outfielder or is he going to be a? Yeah,
that's our future. But heading into training or during training camp, maybe I'm just on the wrong page and I got my sights on different things. But did any of you guys? I just failed to factor in Birdsong not being an important part of this pitching staff. I think Birdsong will be in there, and then he's not. I just liked what I saw. He was an exciting young pitcher last year.
You know what it could be?
To play.
You know what it could be? Roop is 27. Birdsong's only 23. Maybe
I'll tell you what I think happens here soon. If they go through the Houston series and they're keeping the games close and the starting pitching's doing well. And let's say this Houston series goes similar to the way this series is gone, the Cincinnati series. And then you go into Seattle and it continues over the first 9 games. I can see Sean Jelly coming up and Birdsong going down and they're saying, hey, Birdsong's got to pitch.
Yes.
I mean, he's got to pitch.
He's got to pitch, right? When's the last time he pitched?
Exactly. It's been over a week. And it could be he doesn't. What are they going to do? Find him an inning somewhere?
What does that do? What does that do?
Exactly. You got to stretch him out so he's available to be a starter.
Yeah.
And I would prefer Birdsong personally to be. If he's not going to find a spot to pitch. I mean, look, the only time Birdsong's going to pitch is if they're getting blown out, right? I mean, where are you going to say, okay, a pitcher has a bad outing, we need Birdsong to come in and throw 3 to 5 innings. Okay.
Yeah, he's not high leverage. He's just eat some innings. He's that's what it's going to work out to. We were in a similar situation last year where we had guys coming up who weren't playing, who at the end of the day we should have been seeing the young guys play last year. No question about it. So Dallas guys who were called up, like you said at the start of the show, Matos or Ramos, they call up, sit, go back. Well, at least I guess if they're in AAA, at least they're playing. They're getting reps.
Interesting. So Dallas thinks maybe maybe Hicks goes 4, Birdsong goes 4.
Piggyback. If you want to save your bullpen, that's not a
worried about that.
way to do it. If you use them that way, that's really.
And if you think about it, it helps Hicks get through the season if that's kind of what they're going to do. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe they are. That's not a bad idea. There, Dallas. They could use Birdsong that way. It's kind of like having a 6 starter without getting them overworked innings. Imagine if
Right.
Hicks goes 30 starts and averages 4 innings pitched, and he gets 120 innings. That's about where he's probably maxed out. And you do the same for Birdsong. That's not a bad way to go about it, really.
And
I
it builds
kinda
them
like
up.
that.
So then next year, Birdsong can kind of
Yeah, I kind of
let
like
it go,
that
so to
idea.
speak.
I do like that because, you know, we've seen how many times where Hicks starts to struggle in the 4th.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Maybe that's the direction they go. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. What do you guys think? What do you think? They win 1, 2, 3?
I think they win one. The Blanco and the Valdez starts scare me. Look, they still could pull it out, but I think they go 1 and 2 in Houston.
I'm changing my whole philosophy. I thought they were going to go 1 and 2 in both series, so I'll go 2 and 1.
Oh, you're saying they're going to go?
Because just let them prove me wrong, dude. I think this team, if I say they're going to be 1 and 2, they'll be 2 and 1. So I'm going to say 2 and 1 and see what happens.
Why don't you keep it and say 1 and 2?
3 and 0. How about 3 and 0, boys?
How about 0 and 3? Say 0 and 3, and then they'll sweep.
There you go.
There you go.
I think I'll be happy if they win 2. They have the potential the way they're playing to win 2.
They do.
So why not?
They're going to be in more games this year for sure. I think we got, I'd like to see a few more innings where they score runs. Today's game, did they just score in 2 innings?
I didn't even pay attention. It was towards the. It was like.
Let me look at
You got it?
I'll pull up the score here in the box score. Okay, so MLB.
Yeah, they scored the 5th, 6th, and 8th. A run, a 3-run, and a 2 spot. 8.
So 3. That's not too bad. I mean, I'd love to see him score in 4
Numerous
to 5 innings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see him put up, 2 or 3 innings where they put up crooked numbers. At least 2. At least 2. Because that it's been the part that worries me about this team is the prolonged slump. We saw it game 1 against an overpowering Hunter Green, 16, 17 strikeouts. If they're going to have games where they strike out a lot against pitchers like that, because Adama strikes out a ton. Chapman's going to strike out. Yaz is going to strike out. Fitzgerald, Ramos is going to strike out. So you got a lot of guys that strike out. So today, 7 times.
Listen,
I love 7.
Series,
What's
we
that?
won that opening series, but we stole game 1.
Yeah,
we struck out 17 times. We stole that win.
Yeah, if they strike out at 7 to 8 times a game, perfect. If they can keep it right there, it's when they start doing the double-digit stuff. But if they could keep yesterday was only once, right?
Only one yesterday, yeah. And it was Chapman.
Nice. and it's the one game they lost.
Is Lou going to be at the ball? Are you going to be at the ballpark on a Friday, Lou?
No, I'm going to be on my way to Augusta, Georgia for the Masters.
Ooh, Masters. That's right.
Tough.
I said to Eric the other day, it's kind of cool that I know you can say football, all the sports have it. But there's just something about baseball. I feel like we got 2 opening days. It's such a big opening day, especially I don't mind opening up on the road because opening day, I don't care where the hell you're playing. It's opening day. And then on Friday, I get to go do it all over again and have it again. So baseball, I love 2 opening days.
I tell you what, quick. Go ahead, Lou.
No, what I was going to say, because we talked about it earlier, I think opening day for baseball is the combination of every other sport combined. Everyone knows growing up when opening day of baseball is. People say it should be a holiday the next day. I think it's more popular than Super Bowl Sunday, not drinking wise, but everyone knows and plans around opening day. You know, every single stadium is sold out for that opening day. It is a holiday. As growing up, when you won opening day, that usually meant probably 100,000 tickets would be sold for the rest of the season because you have hope. But that's how important opening day is.
That's a great point.
You know, they want to promote baseball. Remember, I know I bitched about it earlier, talked about it earlier. You were talking about the new jerseys, right? The Tuesday jerseys. And I said, yeah, maybe they're trying to promote it because they're so flashy and they got kind of pink in there and script is weird. But I said, you want to promote baseball these days to the youth. You got to get more kids involved because they're out. All they're doing is playing in my neighborhood, pickleball and shooting hoops. That's it. I don't see any other sports in my neighborhood. So the thing that they do in Cincinnati that I wish they did here is no school. It's a day to relish
school in Cincinnati.
The season and it's opening day. And while it might not be a national holiday per se, they shut down school. It's a big day. There's a parade. I wish San Francisco would do that.
I said that the other night. I said that. Weren't you on the show that night, Lou? Opening day? Yeah.
No, we talked about the pregame, the same thing, where they should have had the school. I think until the girls sold Cincinnati, who was the owner?
Marge Schott.
She might have changed it, but the Reds actually had a contract with the major leagues. They were always the first opening game.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first
one day
ones.
Before.
They did an hour one day before. The Giants played there a couple times when they started artificial turf. But that was really the start of baseball, the Reds opening day.
Yep.
And then, of course, you had other ones. But that's how big it was. You know,
aren't they the oldest franchise? Aren't they the oldest franchise in the game? Right?
Still going? I think they are.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Wow. Cincinnati. Weren't they the what? The
Red Stockings.
The Red Legs, or what do they call them now?
The Red Stockings. I think it was the Red Stockings.
Yeah. But yeah, Cincinnati, man.
And I'll tell you, kind of go back to Houston. I didn't really get a chance to say this real quick. Don't let Jordan beat you. Because that guy, man, he is pitch around him, whatever. Don't try to be a hero. If you got an open base, pitch around him, man, because that guy, he ain't gonna miss it.
Hicks, don't be throwing no 98-mile-an-hour fastball so we can actually hit him on the back, please. Use your
I just want to check. Jordan Alvarez went 20th. Right in front of my pick in our draft. Okay. All right, Marcus. I've got a target. You got a target on your back right now.
Oh, man. But it's going to be fun, man. Again, that's the guy you got to worry about because, you know, it's not the Houston Astros of the recent past. You know, there's no Correa, there's no Bregman, there's no Tucker. But you still got Altuve, you still got Alvarez, and they picked up Christian Walker. Short porch in left field. Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah.
The Brucker box.
All right. Well,
there's been some bad opening days though too, boys.
Yeah.
I was allowed to. The only time, and I wasn't a kid by any stretch, but I remember I got the day to myself and no school. Up in Canada, the Expos were opening up on the road in Cincinnati. Do you remember 1996, Dan?
Yeah.
They only got like an inning into the game, and then they sent everybody home. John McSherry died calling the game, the umpire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Died of a heart attack.
Of the game.
Yeah, died of a heart attack in the first inning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had that on.
Crazy.
Oh, that was bad.
It just looked bad.
It was just a wild day. It snowed in Cincinnati that morning. They're like, oh, my God. And then they got the game started. Oh, we're going to get to play. And then, what a tragedy. What a tragedy.
Wow. Well, guys, tomorrow, game time for the Giants Astros. What time does that thing start tomorrow? It starts at 5:10 our time. So,
okay. About 8:30. The way the games have been going, about 8:30. Should it end somewhere around there?
Probably 7:30, 7:40.
Or 7:40.
We'll be going around 8:30, right, Eric? We want to go at 8:30 tomorrow night.
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go on probably our normal time, about 7:45.
Yeah, we'll go 8:30. Yep.
And
Sounds
then
good.
you
Really
guys
spread out the
carry it
load.
on, and we're so catch both of us shows tomorrow night.
Yep.
We'll break down the games and have some little fun. Hopefully, it's another victory. I'm hoping this season is a little more enjoyable. I mean, my spirits have been just completely different now that Farhan's gone.
I know, right?
I could not stand I hated to say it. I said it to people and they were just like, "Oh, Dan, you're not a real fan." Because I was saying I want them to lose. If they're not going to win and be, I don't want a 500 team. I want a 90+ win team, or I want a 90+ loss team with Farhan, because I felt the only way the Giants would ever move off of Farhan is that they would not make the playoffs. And don't you guys see the world of difference that you have a baseball person running the show and not a clown?
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yes.
The fact that we suffered for 6 years with a dude that was, and you don't think it not only affected the fans, it affected the players, it affected their performance, because the players were going Looney Tunes because they had no clue what was coming. They didn't know if they were playing, going, coming. I mean, Ross Stripling was going up to Sacramento on a rehab assignment, and he drove his car from San Francisco. He drove himself, and he's about 10 minutes from the stadium, or he just gets to the stadium, and he gets his phone call from the front office and says, "Don't pitch. We want you down in San Diego now." And he said, "I'm pitching." And he was like, "I drove up here. I am pitching." And then there was another incident while he was on the team. He's in the clubhouse, and Slusser and Pavlovic and the other beat writers are talking to him and say, "Hey, so tell us about your injury. We heard you're injured." And he's like, "What? That's news to me." Yeah, the Giants were trying to put him on an injured list.
Mm-hmm.
And look, the players could not stand the way the things were being run.
Well, and what organization? I'm sorry, if you're in charge of an organization, how do you take down the winning moments of how do you take down the trophies or the pictures of the championship years? How do you do that? I mean, it boggles my mind.
You're trying to destroy the tradition.
Yeah. Why? All you're going to do is just piss everybody off. You accomplish nothing by doing that.
Yeah. And I see some people say Gus says the Giants are going to finish with 78 wins. Gus, you might be right. I don't look at this team right now versus last year's team and say last year's team who won 80 was definitely better. I don't see it. I mean, you had Blake Snell, but you didn't have a shortstop, and you've got a second year of Ramos, a full year of Ramos. You got Lee. And, I mentioned earlier, I think Chapman probably has a decent season just because he's content. When you're playing for you come into baseball, right? And you got 6 years you're under control of a team. And you are really playing for the contract. You're playing for the one contract that will make you generational wealth. Otherwise, you're getting, maybe when you're starting out, you're making a couple million, and you go through arbitration and you might get up to 5, 10, 15 million a year, but that's once a year, right? Mm-hmm. You want that multiple 7-figure deal, right? You want that 100+ million. Is that 7 or 6-figure? I'm not sure. I think it's 7, but you want that one deal that gives you the generational wealth that sets your family up forever. Correct. Right? And he didn't get it last year. He didn't get the big deal. Remember, he signed late and he got these 3 one-year deals, and he was going to have the opt-outs. And now he gets this 6-year, $151 million deal. doesn't he look more content and at peace?
Yeah, I could say that. I could see that. He doesn't have that chip on his shoulder, so to speak, right? Maybe
some guys coast and they say, I'm paid.
Right.
What the hell?
Okay.
Anthony Rendon, I'm paid.
Yeah.
I don't even like
that's
baseball.
A good example. That's a good example.
Yeah, I'm paid. Other guys in the NBA, I know, I see it. They get paid, and they never perform up to their contract, or NFL, whatever. And you see it a lot in baseball. But some guys, like, I got my family. I know where I'm going to be, and I like the organization. I don't have to worry. I got a no trade clause. And they perform better when that. Other guys, when they're pressed, maybe they don't perform as well. I'm thinking Matt Chapman might be the type of guy that says,
He's got character. He's got some character.
Yeah, he's got character. I'm secure. They appreciated me. I appreciate them. My life's going well. I got a baby girl. Everything's set. I don't have to worry and stress out and try and be this guy and push and to get this contract. He's got the contract. Now maybe he actually has more production. That's what I'm thinking, but I think it lasts 3 years. And then I think it goes.
And then it starts. Yeah.
And then I think at 35, it just goes downhill.
Right.
But I'll take the 3 years.
I'll take the 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. That's just my gut level tells me that. And I think we're going to see I think we're going to see a good year out of Chapman. I don't know if we'll see anything spectacular, like, he hits 270 and hits 30 plus homers and drives in 100 runs. But if he can cut down on some of the strikeouts in key situations and drive in 85 to 90 runs and
I like that.
And hit 245, 250 and play stellar defense, I think you take that. For a guy.
How about 250, 255? How about that? Let's go.
And that's about as good as it. That's as good as it gets for him.
I think that's right. I think that's his ceiling.
It's a career.
Yeah. If you're out there expecting him to bat 290 and drive 100, that just ain't. He's never done it.
No.
Correct.
No. Yeah, he's never done it. So, I'm just hoping he has that going, and the fact that Buster's his boss and Melvin, who he's comfortable with. We'll see. I mean,
it's a more exciting time to be a Giant fan, though, isn't it?
It's a lot better being a Giants fan this year than last year. I can tell you that. It was. Yes. I was having a hard time. The organization was pissing me off. Yeah, just pissing me off.
And before we say goodbye, Eric and I would be remiss because we didn't do it at the top of the show. We got to thank our sponsors, Lefties, for all your sports memorabilia and merchandise and all your autographs and cards and all that jazz. Duxwell Printing for all your printing needs in the Bay Area. GenesisGoldIRA.com, Signatures for Soldiers. And Eric, when you need a credit card, where do you go?
BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com. And I know Eric, Dan likes to thank his sponsors as well.
Yeah, that would be Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give them a call for all your legal matters. They actually specialize in personal injury. So if you got a personal injury and you need help with that, give Chapman Law Group a call. The call's free. The consultation's free for personal injury. There's their number. Also, they might be, I think they're in the description of this video, but check them out, 415-613-9483. You've heard it every night for months. Just give Chapman Law Group a call. And when somebody, hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, you get rear-ended, give Chapman Law Group a call.
I think I speak on behalf of Eric, but for Lou down there next to me and up above me, right up there, Dan Coach Emilio, I love doing Sunday nights. I love the banter.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's a kind of an open forum for the four of us. And Eric and I spend the week together. You two spend the week together. I think when we put all four heads together, it's a lot of fun. I just want you to know how much I enjoy doing Sunday nights with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good show.
It's fun.
get a lot of camaraderie, a lot of people talking Giants baseball. No one else is doing Giants baseball on Sunday nights out there. Nobody's covering the Giants on a daily basis as much as our two channels. So, and there's other good channels out there, guys.
Oh, yeah,
There's,
absolutely. Even
there's,
Year, Hum Baby.
Even Year Dynasty, Hum Baby, and Skaters, and the new kid.
Giants Hot Takes podcast.
Yeah, Giants. I think he was in here earlier tonight when we first started.
Yeah, but they're not all nuts like the four of us doing this every day. Like, living the dream, baby. Living it.
Yeah. So anyway, Lou and Eric and Glenn. I know Glenn's got to run and check his streamers right now. He's got to get those.
I'm off tonight. Usually I'd be heading over. I do midnight to 6 on the radio. I got the night off.
Oh, okay. More time to look for streaming starting pitchers.
I am going to take the night off, and I am going to work the waiver wire.
There you go.
Yeah.
By next Sunday, something tells me they're going to be hanging the moniker. Call me Farhan. I got guys going up and down on a daily basis, boys.
Yeah, it's always between 12 and 12:30. I'm always see my phone starts coming alive.
Oh, you see when the moves are made,
Of course, everybody does.
Oh, okay. Oh, do you? I didn't know that. I'm making moves. I thought I'm doing it in doing it in some dark alley somewhere.
He thinks he's doing. He thinks he's stealth.
My wife is like, you're really stealthy doing this at 2 a.m. And you guys knew? Oh, come on, man.
He thinks he's stealth. No. Oh, there goes Blue Siren.
The cops
they're coming after you. He thinks he's stealth. No, we're all the Atlantic reporters.
I thought it was oh,
God. We know when you're getting ready to attack, Lynn.
Oh, we know. You're giving up you're giving up your war plans, man.
We know your coordinates, everything.
It was sneak attack time. Oh, son of a gun. Oh, well, them's the breaks.
Oh, man, that's funny.
I'll see you guys next Sunday night, though.
Yeah, let's do this again. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Giants tomorrow, 5:10. Eric and I will be on at 8:30. You guys are on at what? 7:45.
7:45 should be right after about the final pitch, hopefully. So.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lou.
All right, see
everybody.
you guys. Woo!
See ya.